Hi everybody, I'm back. I've had to come back because I needed to write a couple of things down, to say a couple of things that I forgot, and I hope everybody could make sense of everything I said. And I watched it and I thought it went really, really well. So I must praise Linda again and tell everybody these roses at this minute represent my mother, the divine feminine, which I say, which I know a lot of people like some of my posts that I post and share on Facebook. But anyway, if you haven't got a partner, or you've got a friend, or someone that you find beautiful to your heart, go and buy them a little something on this beautiful Valentine's few days. And if you haven't got a partner, get them your sister, your mother, your brother, and wish them happy Valentine's Day. Anyway, Linda, I watched Star Lanza's interview, and he did say a couple of things he should have mentioned. He should be private, but that's okay. Some people will. I don't want to get myself into that predicament. So, the pyramid represents Africa and our kings and queens, and also my crew, MVO, Manchester Vibes in the area, flying the flag of the pyramid, sun and the moon, and the world and the universe, the stars. And Vita translated, Manchester Vibes in the area, established in 1988. Everything I learned at the Reno, I took personally into MVITA with him at Junior, Lindsay, Bino. I've got to say, Mike Maisie, Perry Wilson, and a few more olders like them, but more Junior, Tony Burns, Bino, and him it was my partner. So anyway, what I'll do is just run over a few things that I forgot to mention. For instance, growing up in West Tisby when I was 8, our first place to meet girls and be running after girls and train and be fit was it was Field Park. So Field Park. Go on.
Don't keep clicking your pen.
Sorry.
Go on.
So Field Park was the first. I have to mention Field Park because we met so many beautiful and brilliant people. But what I've got to say about Field Park as well is when you were fit and when you was wanting to go with the organisers in minibuses and go to different youth clubs, we went because we was really good at football for my youth club or training and all that kind of stuff. We went all over as far as Moston, Ancoats, Cheetham Hill, to that. They've got a big Moston, Cheetham Hill, whatever it is, college or whatever, but they had a youth club there before, and we used to go there, so play football against different youth clubs and all that kind of stuff. And then when we started going to discos and stuff like St Bernadette, St Eddie's, Centre Spot. Wow, do you remember Centre Spot?
No,
we have to have the older firm. Centre Spot was in town, and then the Scooby Doo. But when I mentioned about the blues, when I mentioned about the blues, when I was a kid, at 12 and 13, with Willis and Himmett, our lands might maybe Steve Cottier and I think Solomon McCoy occasionally. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is when we stopped going to the youth clubs and started going to the early clubs around about the same time as the Shabeenses, we were going to Caroline's, Cloisters, and a couple of clubs. Like whoever posted and told me it was Brewster's. Yeah. Thank you very much. Because Brewster's then sent me right back to the near art area, was Sandpipers and Mulberries. I will go on about that a little bit later because I want to say about the blues stuff and Ricky and Leroy at the Wivington Club. It was just like another world. But anyway, So when Lanza and Mike Maisie and Steve Cotton and a couple of others used to take me to blues, I was already going to a few with Willis and Himmett. They took us to Cheetham Mill. They took us to, there used to be a blues in Cheetham Mill called Banjos.
Yeah.
And from Banjos, now and again, if we didn't go to Oldham to a blues called Kittyman's, we'd be going to other blueses out the area and what have you else. For instance, when I was young growing up before my 16th, I've already gone to Liverpool regular. There was a young lady called Giselle and a couple more. Anyway, this lady I seen in Liverpool, her sister went out with one of Duran Duran.
Right.
And one of these times I went to Liverpool to spend the weekend with Dave Knapp from Sale. She says to us one night after this club in Liverpool, only about fucking 16, 17, we watched go to Reno. Said, no, there's a party and there's a blues, and then that next thing, in the morning, we're going to go off to Birmingham to a mansion where her sister was going out with one of Duran Duran. The next thing I found myself swimming in this swimming pool early hours of the morning with this beautiful Scouse princess, because no one else wanted to go and have a skinny dip in the pool. It was warm night, it was fucking, everybody was off their heads, and it was absolutely beautiful. So thank you, my Scouse princess. I'll never forget you.
Did you go to the Reno the same night or just from Liverpool?
No, we stayed in Liverpool, and then in the morning we went to this beautiful party with these beautiful people. Yeah, so I had to mention Kitman's and Banjos because they were just beautiful people and beautiful blueses. So anything you want to ask me, Lynn?
Go on. I think you should mention Bob Marley.
Oh, you know what? I've actually done a thing here, and all I put was BMW at 16. Now before I mentioned Bob Marley, I have to Melvin Adai reminded me the other day, I have to recap with people from Manchester what was happening at the time or what we were about at the time. So anyway, Melvin Adai reminded me the first time I met Bob Marley, and I'm thinking Bingley, Staffordshire, it was a big 20,000 capacity place. Me and Dennis Marr went on our own at 16, ridiculous. But by that time now, I'd already been to, first time I went to London was with Mike Patrick's at 16. And then after that, I think I went with Willis and we got nicked at the 1976 riots.
Yeah.
And then I said in the last one we were in
the
young boys' home. Anyway, sorry. So Mike and one of his brothers and what have you took me as a 16-year-old to London, and then it's just mind-blowing. You can't imagine it. I need to tell you that when I went to London, I met a few people with Mike and what have you. I think her name was Rose, I'm not sure. But Brenda, she was a mate of Brenda's, big, tall, mixed-race Brenda from the Reno. Beautiful Brenda.
Yeah.
Brenda had a friend.
Yeah.
Brenda had a friend in London. She came to Manchester with a big, what's the advert with the paint with the big dog? It's got all the fluff. Not Dun. Is it a Dunlop?
Oh,
Duloc's dog.
Yeah.
So anyway, I met this lady, this mixed race lady, beautiful. Oh my God. I was only 16. I think she was about 33 or 4 or something. I'm not sure. And she met Brenda's. So I'm in the Reno and I listen. This lady comes up to me, whispers something in my ear, and I was like, "You what? Come sit with me." So I sat with this lady most of the night. And she says to me, "You're coming home with me." I said, "Okay." I was only about 16. So anyway, she was staying with Brenda at an house in round here somewhere, round there, Wally Range. So she took me to Brenda's house. She treated me like a fucking prince. I'm not joking. It was mind blowing.
How long did she treat you like a prince for? Overnight or?
She says to me now, I'm with her, and she says to me, "I want to take you to London." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I want you to come to London and I look after you and this and that." And I've gone, "Oh. I'm going to have to ask my dad because my mum was in Australia." But this is about the time he told me I couldn't go to the carnival with Willis, and I went, never did anything. My dad said, "Don't do it." So anyway.
So what did you ask?
I said to her, "Listen, you're going to have to come and ask me dad." And she brought a dog and we walked from here. We left West Disbury to go. Our house in West Disbury is getting remodernised.
Yeah.
And we left to go to. We were one of the first families on Nell Lane Estate. So anyway, I went from here, walked from here with this lady with a dog to Nell Lane Estate. Got in the house and sat down and says, "Dad, this lady's got something to ask you." And she says to me, and I'm looking at her thinking, I hope he says yeah. She looked, she said, hello, Mr. Bully. She says, I'll be looking after Alfonso from now on. And he just stopped in his tracks in the kitchen. I think he was cooking. He stopped in his tracks, looked at her and went, what, where is he? And she said, I'll be looking after Alfonso from now on. You know, he went, oh, really? She said, but I was wondering if I could have your permission to take him to London. And he went, no chance. He money in Australia. And he can't go anywhere out of this city. When he would have come home and say he can go to London, no problem. But I was fucking sat there like a little kid. But I weren't a little kid because I've been on the street since I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How long had you stayed with this woman?
Every time she come to Manchester.
No, before she went to Manchester.
Oh, days. I went back with her then. I was with her over a week or whatever. And then the family was saying, where is he? He said, he's with that Rose, Brenda's friend in fucking Wally Range. Oh no, she was mint. She just taught me so much. So you were saying about Bob Marley. Now, before I talk about Bob Marley, I must say, I have to compose myself. It's really not our Landers firm, which I've mentioned, Steve Cottier and Mike Maisie and Solomon Cuckoo and a few others. I like to mention, when I mentioned the Thorns, Albert and Ricky. And the sister Bonnie. I have to mention Alan Juando and Nicky Oganyemi.
Oh, yeah.
Craig Morricone, Ray Kelly, Stainsy, and a couple of others from Northside who are like chaps and good people and family members. And the reason I'm mentioning them people because we've lost so many young people that when I was out last night, it was someone's birthday. So I've just turned my birthday 2 weeks ago. And I say to people, I was 56 times the sun and back, which is 12 months. So my Earth Day is 56 times around the sun and back. And don't mention young. And don't mention the other word, OLD. Don't use it. Don't have it even in your psyche. And yeah, I think I'm really young. That's why my kids and me family members say, you want to fucking grow up. And I say, you want to grow up for me. So some of them names just mentioned, and going back to
they're all passed away, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all passed away. Tony Burns.
Yeah.
When I'm 16 now and I have to mention some of the things like that, I have to mention now Kenny Pilkington. Kenny Pilkington was like in this life, he was just like, show me so much. When my young kids, Lanza, Leslie and Alina were young modelling, and I had to go to London, I'd be staying in London with Gilly and Kenny. And Gilly was part of the Adams family. And he was Kenny Pilkington's right-hand man. And when I was to go to London, I had to stay in accommodation in Upper Wimpole Street and Baker Street. They are up with the most richest streets in London. I mean, Baker Street is Sherlock Holmes' street, yeah. And Upper Wimpole Street is right next door to that. Right. For instance, one day I'm walking down the street with Lanza, Leslie and Alina, or just Lanza and Leslie, can't remember, 3 of them or just 2 of them. And all of a sudden walking down the street with my kids holding hands, and we're going to where our apartment where on the street, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, fucking hell, that's 007, it's James Bond. Right. He's got a big plaster around his neck. So I stopped him. Excuse me, mate, you're James Bond. That's right.
Roger Moore.
No, he wasn't Roger Moore. He's the younger one with the black hair. The younger one than him. So I said, yeah, kids, say hello to James Bond. And he started smiling. He said, I can't talk. I've just been to a specialist to get an operation on my throat. I went, oh, don't talk. Nice one, geezer. Thanks for stopping. See you later. No, not Roger Moore. The other one. He's still acting today. The one that came after. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
So Kenny. And Kenny's family, Sue, and Kenny's daughter and son who had the accident. And Baz's brother, That's his brother. That's
Tell us
Jordan.
about Bob Marley.
I've got. So Melvin Addice reminded me at Frank Pereira's funeral the other day, the first time you met Bob Marley, and I've gone, I was with Dennis Mann and I went to Bingley Hall, right, he went, you wasn't. I said, what do you mean? He said, think about it. You didn't meet Bob Marley for the first time in Staffordshire on stage with Bob Marley, Fonso. I said, oh, go on then, sorry Mel, remind me. He went, Bellevue, Manchester. Went, oh my God. Gosh. So anyway, Bob Marley's coming to Manchester. My locks are already flowing. People are now starting to call me Twin Marley. We go to Bellevue. It's rammed, and I'm not joking. There's more people outside than there is in, and they've shut the doors.
Yeah.
Down to Melvin Adai. Oh, God bless his brother. I'm thinking about his brother. Did you ever go to CIS? The CIS building, right? That was another place where it was just ours.
Yeah.
And Melvin's brother, I can't remember his name. God bless his spirit. Oh. Melvin's brother passed back in the day at CIS. Okay. Round about them times. Did you know?
No, I don't.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just like Melvin, they were like officers who was years younger, but they were like twins. Sorry, Mel. So, Melvin Adai reminds me. You see, that's something else, sorry. Grey Metal, Benny, Mr. Smalls, because for Stephen, I think he calls himself now.
Yeah.
Steve. And Lenny Richards. Lenny Richards and Tony and Graham were alongside kids. And down to the older generation of them, like Melvin, because Melvin was our Cecily's age. I think Lenny Richards was our Lanza's age, I'm not too sure. So we had to look up to them, follow them whenever they were doing whatever they were doing. So with Melvin reminding me about Bob Marley, then oh shit. Then when he reminds me that we're outside Bellevue, Bob Marley's going to come anytime now. There's more people outside, we can't get in, I'm not joking. Melvin was the first one. He got the bottom of the fucking exit door, and I'm telling you with his strength, literally ripped it from the shin. Wow. So when people seen that was the first opening of the exit door, fuck me, I'm not joking, the whole of the door, exit doors come off the panel. Yeah. We were standing on the doors to get in the concert. So we got to see Bob Marley here first. I don't know, wow, how can I forget that? Because like Bob Marley's, like Melvin Adai's reminded me, I actually went on stage with Bob Marley. I think loads of us did. And then Melvin reminded me, you had your arm around him on stage. I think because we went berserk. We did. And, wow. and I must tell you that I forgot about this because it's just ridiculous the amount of things that have happened from 14, 16, 18. So Melvin reminded me about that. And we've left Bellevue now to go home, but most of us now, we're not going home now, most of us going to the Reno because it's after the concert in Bellevue, Gorton Way, whatever. So we're all coming home now. I'm pretty ashamed of it, like most would be, but I blame Bob Marley.
Go on.
I blame Bob Marley. Yeah, because you never believe what his last record was at Bellevue, Manchester, in 1970. Feathers, beans, wedding. Fuck's sake, he only ended with get up, stand up. Stand up for you, right. So from Bellevue to Moss Side, got to Reno. We smashed bush yellers. We mugged people.
Standing up for your right.
God.
Go on. What else did you do?
There must have been about 70 and 80 of us.
Yeah.
And the police come near us and they won't come near us. They just...
Because the energy was too high.
Oh, mate. Wow. Okay. So that's not even...
And that's quite a distance from Bellevue to the Reno to be...
Oh, we were in another world. We were high. We were high as... We were on Rastafari wings of angels that night. And I can't believe Melvin's reminded me of that. So, so that was, I want to leave Staffordshire with Dennis Marr near to later on. Right, Kenny Pill, London. Right, so, when it was Age of the Week, fortunately for me and some of my friends and family, we had a cousin called Paul Young that was the main man at the Apollo Theatre for more than 20 years. So any bands and anybody of any theatre or mainly bands that came to Apollo Theatre, we'd go and see our Paul Young, who was from Belize.
Right.
So when years later, no, it can't be. Fuck me, what am I on about? So we're now with Paul Young at the Apollo, and we meet, and one or two clubs in town. They were too small for Apollo at the time, but we met through Paul Young and through the clubs in town, and through Tony Wilson, like I mentioned on the other interview. We met Steel Pulse, Aswad, UB40, and anybody that was anybody from the punk rock scene, because me, Lanza, Seth, Dennis Marr, Junior, Tony Burns, Goff, and Dennis Marr did it a bit. We was roadieing for the Buzzcocks.
Right.
Because Lanza's girlfriend, Chris Ramsden, brother Eric Ramsden, who's related to Bino, was working with Tony Wilson. So when we went to cover these there was a punk rock venue called The Ranch.
Yeah.
Foo Lamarr had it.
Yeah.
Foo Lamarr's family, the Pearsons, from Merseybank and Witherton, were related to Foo Lamarr. My mum and some of her family was indirectly related to Thin Lizzy.
Okay.
And Thin Lizzy's family were from Ancoats and Irish, obviously. So we got an introduction at a young age to Thin Lizzy and his family. But also on the younger tip of it, 16, because I went to West Didsbury and was 8. All the hippies, like Johnny Mack, we call Johnny Mack, people out there know him, the king of the hippies. Johnny Mack, and I've written it on here because I needed to remember. When someone said Brewster's, then I have to think of Genevieve's, and there was 2 Genevieve's. There was one on Dickinson Road. Oh no, it's a Club International, sorry.
Yeah.
When I think of Genevieve's and the Club International, then I have to mindfully think of the Stone Roses manager, who was called Gareth, and then I have to flip to think Gareth's best mate and partner was Dougie James and the Soul Train. Do you remember Dougie James?
No.
Dougie James has got 2 lads. One's in, or just out of Coronation Street, and the other one is in, apparently, Emmerdale, whatever. So Dougie James is big in our town. But Dougie James and his friends from West Didsbury with Johnny Mack and their firm, not Dougie James and their mates, but Johnny Mack and a couple of others was drug smugglers from West Didsbury and whole hippies, but I mean royal hippies. And Dougie James and Gareth were partners who had Club International, and the other one that was near, Club International was near Hardwick, and then the other one was the club they had was Dickinson Road. Right. So Dougie James and Gareth, and then some of their mates from West Didsbury who weren't thieves and vagabonds, maybe done a bit of juggling. They were more musicians and proper cabaret stars and stuff like that, did London and everywhere else, were Billy Rance, Stan the Man, Mandy with Billy Rance, because it's his partner and also his singing partner, and the man, and a few more in our area. Oh, one of the main bands as a kid, watching was watching Rears was 10cc in our area, West Didsbury. Yeah. And also there's a couple of Paul Youngs, not the Paul Young that is the superstar, the black-haired guy that everybody knows. Yeah. We had our own Paul Young that was connected to 10cc, but Paul Young's family and daughter as well as the Doves. The Doves, there's a massive band called the Doves. Yeah. Paul Young was connected to them. I'm talking about Paul Young from Winslow. Right. We did a party with Paul Young one night. He wanted Vita to do this party with him, and unfortunately for us, once again, like with the Buzzcocks, we've gone to a party after the Buzzcocks gig one day, and somebody that was with us has only fucking nicked the bass player's bass out of the Buzzcocks, thinking it was somewhere else, somebody else's band. There's loads of bands. What's up for the next day? Anyway, we got the sack. It was fucking sad though, because I went mad then. It was fucking sad, you know what I mean? You're getting in a place of trust like that, and then people you with. Well, I can't say people. I don't think it was fucking Tony Burns or Goff. I don't know who it was, but I weren't happy about it. So same applies, like Paul Young's invited to his mansion in Winslow. Now we're doing Envita now. My own crew with him at Envita. And we get invited to this mansion in Winslow to do a gig. With the swimming pool and all that. And my fucking mate Goff, who's with us, with our crew. So I sneak feed in the bedrooms and all that, took a fucking Rolex out of the geezers. Probably nicked his... Anyway. I know you won't see this, Goff, but sorry, yeah, you did. That's what you did, mate. You fucking stole off people that we was fucking...
I'm living your future.
So, no, not really, no, because people know, even though we have family and friends, some of them are like that, people know the heart of us is, the wealth of our arts is worth billions and trillions. So, some of the names and some of the things that I've mentioned then is because I just want to get them out there, because people that are watching that will view it eventually will remember. Like I've just put here like the Mid and the Reno, because as you know about most Caribbean and Africans that are gamblers or dice players, well, I watched my brother Seth Lanza and my dad from Burton Road, bookies from the Midland, stood outside smoking spliffs or just doing what I'm doing. Watched my dad and my brothers out the pub, in the bookies, out the bookies, in the pub, and it was just years of it. And I wouldn't know today how to write a bus slit out, and I don't gamble.
Yeah.
No cards, I don't do that. But it's enough to knock you sick, because when you see, we used to go grafting, doing bits that we would call, people know it as thieving. But no, we just call it doing what we do. And some of the times we go home, all hours, and my pals would have money, Junior, Tony Burns, Dennis Markoff, and they would all like playing cards, and I'd say to them, whatever I do before going out, whatever you do. My dad says, do you want to play a card? Don't, I'll take all your money off you. Fuck's sake, he never listened. Every time they go, because my dad would be up, and my dad would rub his hands and laugh. So anyway...
was your dad a real gambler, a proper gambler?
Well, yeah, yeah, he was. Most of the people in the Shebeens and around my side were. And like once you started getting used to the gambling room in the Reno, even on dice, you'd see people lose fortunes. And fights and all sorts. So anyway,
did your dad lose fortunes?
I'm not too sure. I can't say he was a clever gambler and all that, but I think he would have lost a few quid, because they stay out all hours to the night, to the morning breaks, gambling. So they might lose some money, aren't they?
Yeah.
So Kenny Pilt London, and my kids doing the all right, I've got to get this out of the way so I don't forget. When I started my first interview, viewers and the people out there that know me, my path now is different over the past few years. And when I mean my path, I mean my journey. And part of my journey, part of my path, I have to apologise. Number one, to the divine feminine, that I've got my children, that I have children with them. I have to ask them and beg them for forgiveness. I never put my hand on them, because I'm not a woman. I don't believe in domestic violence, and I've seen my father do it to my mother. I wouldn't say it scarred me, it just made me wise in my mind and my heart that wasn't for me as a little kid, and I am a defender of the divine feminine in all ways, shapes and forms, like walking on earth. As being human, I would not hesitate to stand to the defence of a stranger or a female. Simple. Old women and kids. That's part of my journey on this earth, as being human. And note how I use the word backwards, because no one else does. And some being humans have not got they're not. Some being humans are not. They're not that. The trees and the animals, the birds, the bees, the seeds are more better than some of the being humans. You're getting more energy and more love from them that are not supposed to have a beating heart. And I won't go too much into that. But yeah, I must thank my partners and ex-partners for the beautiful children they've given me. And when I've said about pain and hurting women, because I don't raise my hands to women, don't get me wrong, I have slapped a couple of women because they wanted to either slap me or hurt me, and I'm like the old Bill say, the old Bill say, stop resisting, while they're trying to kill us. Stop resisting, bang. Well, I've actually said to women, whoa, I'm going to have to resist you because you're trying to hurt me. And then when they try to hurt me, I've given them a slap, then I resisted them. So I wouldn't say I've never slapped a woman, because I have, but I've never beat a woman. I never hurt a woman. But how I've hurt a woman mentally, as some of my exes have said, and whatever it is, the pain that I've caused them in the heart and in the mind is worse than beating them. They would have rather have slaps, because the slaps and bruises go away. The hurt that you give them in the mind and the heart, especially if they break the heart, sometimes is everlasting. So first, I must ask for forgiveness from my heart and mind. You get that, don't you, Lynn? And all them will get that.
I do get that, but I can't resist asking you what you did to the mind.
Well, I was very selfish as well. Funny enough, now I've got to say now, when we walked in here, then I have a thing that I do. I'm not going to do it. And years ago, I stopped doing it a few years ago. I used to speak to women and I'd say, excuse me, you have to excuse me. I'd say to women that me, excuse me, you have to excuse me, because I want to know your name. I'd like to know you, but I have to show you that most women do this to me. And I just fall on the floor. And what that meant was women fall at my feet. And it might be big-headed and it might be full of it. And I'm not joking. And I think, once again, Bob Marley has got a lot to do with it, because of the way I looked, doors opened to me. But because of the way I looked, I'm not kidding, I've had most of my life, not just my fair share of women, I've never really had much problem with chatting women up that I fancied. The ones that was cool didn't let me know, and then they'd tell me when I was with them. But I must thank my first children's mother, Patricia, and I'm sorry, Patricia, especially the way I left Manchester and went to London and hurt the kids. And I have to say that, because I have to mention the children I've got to the camera, because people want to know. And Sarah in Cornwall, I had to, you see, when I speak to like Pat, for instance, apologise, I know Lanza and Leslie and Alina will get told, because they're our kids. And when I mention now Sarah, John the Bike Store, me ex in Cornwall, who's got me twins, Rihanna and Serena, my Rihanna's in Australia at the minute, who are 22 now, and then Buddha, her name is Maya, but I don't call her Maya. She was the golden child of 9, and she was the Buddha, the chubby Buddha. So I have to mention my kids, and I have to mention the mothers. My PJ, Noreen's lad, and Stacey Ross, Shayla. She moved to London when she was 14, and a man brought her up a nana brought her up with her mum in Cholton. And then apparently now I've been told, I think I might have another son. I have to meet his auntie again and speak to him again.
How many's that altogether now, you said?
I've got 10 children, but I might have an 11th. And I do think in my heart that if I've got 10 children and another one's come around saying I might be his dad, I think there's bound to be a couple more around that I don't know about, I think, hand on heart. And when I say I've got 10 children, I've only not really grew up or been close to, well, I had PJ when he was 16, and me and PJ got a really beautiful relationship. But when Dotch was bringing him up with his mum, Dotch is his dad. Yeah. And I respect that and appreciate that. And then Naomi's Linda Morrison's daughter. And I love Linda to death. She's got my same birthdays with a birthday apart. And Anne Parks, Anne Morrison, and Lee and Shay. Well, just by saying them, I've got to mention Ethel Morrison. Our Ethel is like, she was like one of Manchester's biggest Ma Bakers or biggest queens. Yeah, so our Ethel, she was like the queen of Merseybank. I could tell you the story about Junie. Junie got kidnapped one day. I was kind of seeing Linda and Shay Malloy, Lee Morrison, and a couple of others. We've been training once again. And when we've got, I think it was me, Willis and Tony Burns, we've been somewhere training, doing intense training. Just got to Field Park, and all of a sudden we see his face kicking hands, and he's in this car. So as he's in his car, and we like and he's driving out of Field Park, and we're looking at this car, and we've all got bottles of milk in our hands. So we said, "Fuck it!" And we just started throwing the bottles at the car. And it was Junior, but Shay Malloy.
What was he getting kidnapped
Shay
for?
Malloy. Oh God! Oh God! Shay Malloy Lee Morrison, a couple of other their pals, I think there's a big one. Jonah, I think, fucking hell, frightening in it. Fuck me. So,
Did they carry on in kidnapping or did
you know
they
what,
stop
I really don't like to say this to you. It's really, when people say you've got to make a book, it's ridiculous. Make a book. When me and Junior was younger, growing up, 13 and 15, we had young women coming up to me and Junior telling us, now this is no lie, Junior's kids are going to see this. We had women coming up to us telling us that they fancied us both. And we look at each other and go, pardon? And that's what they said and that's what they wanted.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we had quite a few women like that. But anyway, for some strange reason, Junior fancied Linda Morrison. And I was seeing her. But she was only seeing me. She'd only see me. And it's like, it's just really strange. I've got to be really respectful. So anyway, one of these days, Linda's kind of coming at the end of Field Park night saying, are you coming with me, Fonso? What? And I'd look at Junior. I was going with my mates. I looked at Junior. He said something to me like, tell her I'd like to come. So I said, Linda, can Junior come? She went, can he fuck? And he just walked up to her and without me knowing, he's walked up to me and slaps her in the face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm fucking out, G, what are you doing? Yeah, fuck it, he was just angry because he got turned down, basically. Yeah. Well, that was it, fuck me, he stepped over the line.
Okay.
I had a go at him, but because he was my pal and I was in shock and I didn't do much about it, but when I went, I said, fucking, you shouldn't have done that anyway. 2 days later, he got kidnapped.
Oh, okay.
Fuck me. And I had to go to the house, I had to plead with Ethel.
Right.
But less than that, a few weeks later, a month or two later, I had to go and sit with Ethel. I got summoned to Ethel's house. I sat with Ethel and she said to me, my daughter told me when she was 14 and a year and a half, she's met this dreadlock guy. She's going to have his baby, just like Bob Marley. And she said, Mum, I'm going to have his baby, I don't care what. And I didn't know. And then, sat in Ethel's house, she's telling me all this. And next thing you know, she says to me, you're going to be a father. I said, I'm already a father, what do you mean? She said, well, you're going to have two. Because my Leslie I was already round Pat and my Leslie by that time. And my Leslie was here, so I've got my first son. But saying, yeah, so.
How old was you when you had your first son?
I went just 15.
Wow,
15 and a bit.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's okay. Please, people, don't think, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
When I was young, when I was 12, 13, I was proper out there with the fairies and I was proper out there, trust me. For instance, when my mum was really ill and passing, I've said to her, at Christmas at bed, and I used to go and sit with my mum all the time. I'd tell you a story, like I said, near the end.
Yeah.
About my mum. I said to my mum one day, and she's in hospital now. It's about maybe a week or two before she passed. And I said to her, I'm just me and her on our own. I said, Mum, was he a really bad kid?
Oh.
And she looked at him and she went, oh no, son.
Oh.
And she stroked me inside of my hair, because I still had locks then, like in the front of my head. And the side of my hair. She stroked me and she went, oh no, son. She said, look at me. He was just a bit wild. I went, oh, thanks, Mum. Because I never felt like I was a bad kid, and I know a lot of people. So, going back to Junior and that, when we started having kids at younger ages, I was having kids as old as my elder brothers, like Huey and Lanza. Well, my Leslie's 40 this year. My Naomi's 39 on her next birthday.
Wow.
So anyway, So
is Naomi to Linda then?
Yes. And my Stacey is to Sonia Ross.
Right.
And Sonia's got 2 children. I've got 2 grandkids in London. I've not really seen them once or twice. We were walking in Falmouth one day because Terry Ross moved to Falmouth. And they couldn't see their uncle. And they met the dad. They met the granddad.
Oh.
Yeah, amazing. Heartbreak. Anyway, so.
Tell me why it was heartbreaking before you move on.
Oh, don't, yeah, Jesus. Fuck, you know what? I can't. The women that know me, I've not heard this. When I say ask for forgiveness, I don't just ask for forgiveness towards the females that I've hurt their hearts and minds. I have to have forgiveness as well, is because I've been quite violent in my past, and not because I wanted to be, because like I say, I've always tried to protect people that was vulnerable, and some of the people I've been violent to were people that were violent and that would take liberties with people. And I've never wanted to get a gun, carry a gun. But I've always carried a little penknife, like I said on my other. But I've never stabbed anybody. I've never shot anybody. But I've hurt a lot of people. I've hurt a few people, and I broke bones in this town and in Cornwall. Only because I had to let people know you can. If you're gonna do something to that direction, you must take responsibility and consequence of your actions. The people I hurt, men, young men, geezers, physically, I would take responsibility of that and face the consequences, because they deserved it. And they would have done the same thing to me. And when I was a kid growing up in Chorlton and Medlock before I left, there was a kid bullying me, and my brothers and some of the friends used to put me in a corner of the playground, and I would not pick my hands up and fight this kid back. And this kid used to come up, my brothers, they know it, my brothers would know, my older brothers know in the school this kid's bullying me. I wouldn't hit him because I didn't want to fight, I didn't want to be violent. But my brothers took me in a corner every other day until one day, our lands said, I was to say, fucking hit him back. Hit him back. I don't want to hit him back. And they'd say to the kid, go on. And he'd slap me in the face, or he'd do it, or he'd just punch me in the chest. And I didn't want to be violent, but I remember at the age of 8 years of age, before I went to West Didsbury, that I got sick of this fucking kid, and I smashed him in the face. He started crying and run off, and then my brothers looked at me, they picked me up like I just scored a goal, and they said, and then I got a big lecture of, after today, if anybody does that, you've got to do back to them. For instance, that was at Cavendish Road School, no, St Chrysostom, before I went to Cavendish Road School. I was 8, and then when I got to St Cavendish Road, I'll never forget it, the last day of leaving Cavendish Road, there was a kid, and he's my mate, Jed Wollstonecroft. Some of the kids from Fallowfield will know who I'm on about, because his brother, Peter, they had a professional crew that were proper gentlemen, grafters. And like I said before, without saying too much, people give it, grafters is the word we're using for going out and doing what you've got to do, for, like Beanie with his books. So Peter Wollstonecroft and his crew and other crews, like Jamie Rennie, Alan Ingham and their crew, were totally different kind of crews. They was going abroad at a really young age, India, Holland, mixing with proper professional people, doing professional things. People like that will know what I mean. So I'm leaving Cavendish Road now at 11, going to Wilbraham. And the cock of the school was Jed Wollstonecroft. No, Jed Wollstonecroft is leaving, and we're going to be the last people in the school. And as Jed Wollstonecroft's leaving, he's saying to a couple of kids at dinner time and all that, I'm going to punch your head and I'm going to smack him in the head. So all these people that are getting punched and getting threatened by Jed Wollstonecroft, they come to me and say, Fonso, Jed's going to beat us up. Jed's going to say, I'll just fucking go in the car and play football, it'll be all right. He said, can we just hang around you? So next thing you know, I've got these kids hanging around me, and we're 11. He's 11 leaving. And they start saying to me, Fonso, protect them, they're scared. And next thing you know, I hear in the whisper in my head, one of them, my mate, someone says, got it in my head. Said, come on, Fonso, fucking beat him up, you know you can. And I just thought, no, I don't want to beat him up because I can't be done with it. So anyway, I've got about 5 kids next to me, and Jed Wollstonecroft marching across the playground at Cavendish Road now. I'm looking at him and thinking, you tight fucker. But the worst part, he's threatened them, knowing he's got them frightened to death. They're all frightened. So his company says, so he just says something like, they know they're getting it, and you will too. And I went, all right, Jed, all right then, Jed, come on, me and you. And as soon as I said me and you, I could see it in his eyes, he didn't want it.
Right.
Because he wanted to bully the kids. Yeah. He knew he could just, fucking hell. That and the first day at Wilbraham was like, wow. So we just started fighting, and because I come from Roman Gypsy family, and our Johnny especially, Johnny Marshall Buller. Some people know him as one-legged Johnny. Oh my God. And our Lee Marshall. Anyway, so I got stuck into me. I battered in, the playground, everybody's cheering. all my best mates. No problem. I didn't want to be the cop, but I was. So anyway, we'd come. First day at Wilbraham School, there was a kid called Coffee. He had a silver tooth in his mouth, and he's what you call initiating people that go into Wilbraham. So as I'm going to Wilbraham, a couple of like John Sharp and a couple of kids, we come from, John Sharp come from Olmo, Craig Monacan went to Burnage, a couple of the kids. John Sharp going to be walking in and saying, initiation at the gate, they're like slapping your kids at the arts. They're not fucking doing that to me. I knew one of the kids because he was from Cavendish Road. So as I'm walking up and they're lining up, these kids saying, stop, you got to walk through in. They're all getting slapped. And someone said, you're not doing that to me. So this kid who come from Cavendish Road, who weren't hard, but he turned hard in Wilbraham, he's walked to me and said, listen, Buller, you're in the fucking big school now, this and that. And as he was about to get his next breath out of his mouth, I just butted it. I was only 11. I just butted him in the face, in his mouth. My mum said, my brother Johnny and my mum said, oh, if you're going to butt someone, always butt them in the nose with your head or in the mouth. Psh. And his mates just fucking shit at me walked in. So that was my initiation. So anyway, enough about that. So I must apologise to those that I've hurt. If there's any geezers out there, I'll give you this quick, for instance, and it's fucking a joke. I'm in town our town, about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and a 6'4" fucking geezers come up to me and said, excuse me, mate, are you Fonso Buller? I said, did he ever hurt you? Are you Fonso Buller? I said, did I ever hurt you? Or did I ever do anything against you to fucking be violent? And he went, yeah. I said, right, mate, I'm sorry. He went, no, mate, I want to shake your hand.
Why?
I said, go on. He said, when me and Tony Burns were kids, kids, at 13, 14, 15, we put karate kits on, white karate kits. And we run from West Didsbury, round Widinshaw, into town, round Stretford and Oldham, and into Salford. But Tony Burns would have nunchuckers down his back, and we'd walk and jog all over our town at a young age. We'd already be out in the blues, but sometimes we didn't go out, we'd just be training.
Yeah.
But we'd go out training at throwing out hours at the pub.
Okay.
So we'd be getting to certain pubs around the area, me and him, and people just take the piss out of us because we've got karate kits on. That's what we wanted, because then we'd stop. Because all of us from Caroline's, mainly Cloisters, we'd go to the picture house at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and you get the wire then through the exit door, you get the wire, you get in. When they got honours at the pictures, we had to make someone go in and pay. They didn't want us to win because we were the only English people in a Chinese pictures for 5 years or more, 6 years.
Watching Chinese kung
fu movies. Then we introduced a lot of other people to it, but we wouldn't take certain people because they'd rather be drunk stone, they couldn't handle it. We'd be in the pictures studying martial arts, and from then we'd go walk from there, Cloisters, through you to the Reno, but we'd be kicking the shit out of each other all the way from town to there. So hence each other.
So why was this guy? What had you done to this guy that he's saying he's shaking your hand for, or you've hurt him?
He'd become a fucking English champion.
Oh wow!
But when he was at our school, because he was big and I could nearly do the splits, whatever, I'd give him what you call a roundhouse, or just a slap on the side of the He wanted to fight me because he said after that, no one's ever doing that to him again, but he wanted to do the kick that I kicked him with. It's called a roundhouse.
Yeah.
Basically, you can slap somebody at the side of the head. Anyway, no, you want to shake my hand. So saying that about people, hurting people and it coming back to bite you on the ass. One day in Mulberry's, I'm in Cornwall now, and this is about 10 or 15 years ago. One day in Mulberry's, there's a few people celebrating. One of them was a good friend of my family. He was actually seeing my ex at the time. It's called Ian anyway. Ian from Merseybank, Cholton. Everybody knows Ian. See, I don't want to give names on that, but anyway, his good friend was called Christian. Christian had just got out of prison after 8 or 9 years away. It was a long time. He's in Mulberry's celebrating. And next thing you know, I hear Junior outside Mulberry's saying to a geezer, yeah, mate, you can't do that. As of now, this Christian's having a go at a local girl that we know, a local Whitworth girl. So it's a geezer having a go at a bird. So what do you do? Like I said before, what do you do, Linda? So we stepped in. So Junior stepped in and he's grabbed Junior. But sometimes with our crew, we weren't a gang, we were a crew. That's where I've got Envita from, the Envita crew. Junior stepped in as a gentleman. And his kid started having a go at Junior. So then I said to him, I said, yeah, mate. You can't do that to him. So he says to me, do you want fucking some? And I've gone, oh, yes, please. Sorry, yes, please. So when this geezer's grabbed me, because of the keeping fit, being strong, this geezer's a big fit, I've kind of done a karate move on him where I've turned him, I've kind of threw him like on the edge, you know, the edges that are next to the wall. Oh, and anyway, I've dented his pride. And he's got up and he's come for me and I've slipped. And as he slipped, I'm on the floor just about to go. One of his pals tried to kick me in the face and I've moved my head like that. And you know, when you see the wind go, but I thought, fucking hell, and Junior's here and Junior comes running in. So there's too many of them, there's only me and Junior. I said, oh, fucking hell, Junior, we can't do this. He said, come here to me, Junior. I'm going, what? He said, come on. I said, what? He said, I'm going home, you're living on the corner. Fuck me. He's got a machete like that. So I've gone, well, I need something. He's given me just a thin iron bar. So we've gone to his house around the corner and we've come on to, from Mulberry's to Wivington Village. We've come out that end thinking we're going to catch him walking up to the village to where the pictures used to be and the Red Lion. It's now Sainsbury's. So we walked up there, we're thinking they're in cars. We're going up to cars, opening cars up, people screaming and all that. Junior's pulling his fucking machete out and I'm saying, don't pull on, don't get out to another car until we know it's them anyway. We're walking back up to Mulberry's now from Wivington Village and all of a sudden we see them at the bus stop. Anyway, we hurt him and he had to get rushed to hospital and we didn't know who he was, but that don't matter. And he had to have microsurgery operations on his head and on his back, and he was very lucky to, because he was so strong and so hard, his muscles and his strength got him through the night and whatever. So the next day we have to go to Lancaster and Morecambe because Junior's missus Gail has took his kids to Lancaster and Morecambe. Me, Cardiff, Colin, I meant to say it, but I'm so glad he's popped in his head. For all those that remember, Voya's dad worked for the South African National Party and Voya got deported from England years after and he's got a kid in Wivenshaw to his girlfriend, a daughter, can't remember her name, but and people know that she was. So anyway, a few of us went to Morecambe to get Junior's kids to see if she would come back, Gail, with his kids. And we got a phone call as we was going saying that these geezers driving around West East and Witherton in cars with guns, that the order is shoot Alfonso and Junior on sight. And they would have done if we'd seen him, but it was out of town. So when I got the phone call and they said to me that this kid Christians, he's really, really bad there, the first thing I said, is he dead? Because I thought we might be up for murder. But Jason Culpepper, Sefton, and I can't remember if it was Marcel, but thank fuck for the elders of the Mossad, because after it I got told I won't welcome in Mossad, and I'm from Cheltenham Medlock and West Disbury, but excuse me everybody out there, I'm a Mossad lad.
I know what you mean, yeah.
So I got told I couldn't go in Mossad, and I wouldn't, because it was too dangerous, because Babs's Blues was at the Gooch at the time.
Okay.
And the Gooch was looking after it, weren't they?
Yeah.
So Lenny Richardson has heard about this. And Lenny's gone to see them and said to the front runners, so to speak, Alfonso's a must-side card, you've got to take this ban off him. And he did, which was great. So when I was talking about leaving Cheltenham Middle later on, I've got to mention the Whites and the Gordons and the Joyces, Johnny Joyce's family. When they ripped like the big houses and all that to Medlock, and they sent people all over the place. Well, my closest of friends and Clint Turner, or the ticket touts and most of the lads, he's famous Clint Turner, with my family, the Whites, the Gordons, the Joyces, the Turners, loads of us thought we'd never see each other again. And then when I seen Johnny Joyce come up to my school, and then I see Linval Gordon, and then I seen Clint, it was like a breath of fresh air. Oh, here's my family, and they're only my mates, but we were like family. So Linda,
we need to mention the Reno, man.
Oh yeah. Shit, right. So there was something.
Go on, what else?
There was something with the Reno, like when I didn't mention it, and I thought, fuck me, there's so many things, Linda, that. Just let me have a scan of this. Oh God. Right. I have to walk away from violence, and I've done for a couple of years. I had an ayahuasca ceremony about a year and a half ago, and less than 2 months after it, I had a seizure. I had to go to hospital because my chest cave went and I couldn't breathe. I've never been in an hospital. I've never been in an ambulance in my life. I've never really been in a hospital like that. Very fortunate. So, before I went to Borstal when I was 16, I was at I've got this written down, and I was glad I remembered because you was asking about the Reno when you said good and bad things. In the Moss Side riots, I was saying to people in the riots, go to fucking Deansgate. Why are you burning down your own shops in your own area? It don't make sense. But because it was so wild and mad, and we've had SAS laws coming, and the police was well, I'd already been picked up and got to court, waiting, got to court. When the riots happened, I'd not been to Borstal yet, or I can't remember what year our riots was. I don't think I've gone to Borstal yet because I went to Borstal when I was 17. I had my 18th birthday in Borstal. The point of it is the Reno and the stuff. Did you know out there, the viewers, that when the Queen first come to Manchester in 1970s, they were sat outside the Reno in a big sunny day, and the fucking Queen's entourage stopped, and the Queen bowed to the Reno, and they were, yes, your Majesty, love and light, Rastafari. Right, she stopped right outside the Reno and waved to everybody outside the Reno. Did you know that? So, I'm in the Reno one night, and I come out the Reno with this young lady we're seeing, and she was by the police stations in the tie-rise where the Hart Lager is at the side. And when we got to her flat and knocked on the door, she said, my mate must be there, because she said she's going home and she just left the Reno not long ago. She's only 16. And I said, what are you going to do then? She said, what are you going to do? She might not come here, the door's locked. Kick the door in, she says to me, this girl. I live in it, it's her flat. I'll kick the door open. And then, as we've gone into the living room, she said, my mate's door's closed. And come see if they're in there. So I've opened the door and I looked in. Her mate's in bed with someone. I said, why didn't you fucking open the door? And I said to her mate, why didn't you open the fucking door and let your mate in? It's her flat with you sharing the flat. And she said, oh, I couldn't. I said, what do you mean you fucking couldn't? Your mate's home. I've just had to kick the door open. You're going to have to get the door fixed, you fucking idiot. What do you mean you couldn't? All of a sudden the kid just put his head out of it. It was Kevin Johnson. My mother said we're not supposed to speak bad about the dead. And I used to say to her, me mum, I'd say to me mum what I'm going to say to the cameras. Mother, but if the person was a dog, and the person was horrible, and the person had a really shit heart,
I'm scared
and you mention,
now, what are you gonna
and you
say?
mention it to them, why can you not mention it, ma'am? All right, son, no problem. Thank you, ma'am. So I'm not saying them words to the audience. I'm just saying what my mother says to me when she was alive, and I'd say to her, you're not slagging them, ma'am. You just tell them the truth. The person was a bad person, Linda. So, the person that turned round in the bed was Kevin Johnson with this bird. So I'm saying to him now, why the fuck can you not let the bird open the door? Fuck off, you dad, try to get out. Like, what are you fucking talking to, you twat? Do you want to come outside and have done to one? Yes, please. Because we were karate kids up, me and Matt Arthur. Anybody, I mean, mum grew us up, give as good as you can take. And if it's the Romney Gypsy way, you give as good as you take. Shake their arm and even say, do you want a drink after? It's only a fight. Fuck me, it's only a fight. Battered and bruises, fuck all. You get that as a kid growing up in school or football or whatever. So he's got up and he had double doors in these flats. He walked through the first set of doors, going to the next set of doors, to go to the next set of doors, to go through the doors, to go in to get into the lift. And we're like 6th, 7th floor up. Walked through his first set of doors, and as I've gone to push the door and the second set of doors, he said something to me. As I've turned to him, he's butted me in the face, like I said to you before. Butt him in the nose or on the mouth. But what he's done to me was he's butted me, and his head has gone. See the top part of your lip? That has been knocked back. That's why years later I've had problems with my upper teeth. That's why I wear a denture. I've got no qualms about telling people I wear a denture because I'll go to have meals and food with my kids, and the first thing my kids say, especially in Cornwall, is, Papa, don't take your teeth out, because I can't eat with them in. So anyway, Kevin Johnson has butted me snidely in the mouth to go out of this building and have a one-to-one. He obviously did this because he knew if we would have had a one-to-one, it would have been on top for Kevin Johnson. But you can't speak bad of the dead, but I'm just telling you this story. So, the tip of this story is as he's butted me, and my eyes have gone, and my knees have gone, I fell to my knees on the floor, and as he's butted me, he's took a step back, and just to rub salt in the wounds, he's took a step back and kicked me in the face. Wow. So then I did see stars. And as he's done that, I put my hand on my face, because the butt got me, because it's took my knees and got on the floor. My brother's walked through the door, Lanzo. Now I've got my knees like that, and blood pouring all down my mouth. He looked at me and gone, what the fuck's happened here? I said, don't do nothing to him, Arkid, please, because he was a bit of a nightman at that time, Kevin, as well. I said, please, Arkid, don't do anything to him. I'll deal with him like the way he's dealt with me. Please. And he's turned to Kevin. He's threw himself on the floor, everybody, crawled up in the ball and said to my brother, don't hit me, Lanza, please. And I said, please, Arkid, don't hit him. Please don't hit him, Arkid, leave him. Now, if there's any Johnson family out there, please forgive me for telling this story. But like I said to some people at the start of this, we have to be brutally honest, Linda. Some won't mention certain things. I have to curb what I say, because there's going to be people there that have lost people, that have been hurt with what some people are going to mention, not just me, with reliving some of the things. I've had to live with this gum, with what Kevin did to me, all my fucking life, viewers. And what I will tell you is when he butted me in the mouth, he knocked my top mouth that much into the back of my mouth with the force of his kick in his butt. I had to go to the dental hospital to have an operation on my top mouth, and what they did was they stitched my mouth with metal stitches in and out from there right across to there, and they pulled my top gum forward from there to there, in and out, all the way around. Not many people know this, Linda, but I don't mind, because I'm not saying with bitterness, because I have to share certain things that make you hard and make you shun violence or whatever. I think I would have deserved pain, because I've given people pain myself, but only for the right reasons within violence. So when I've got the stitches in my mouth, now I get sent to Borstal. I go to Borstal, and in the Borstal, I had to go and see the specialist in Borstal with the teeth specialist, and they've said, we've got to send you back to where they did that, because we can't do that here. So I've gone to the medical centre in Moss Side.
The dental hospital.
From Wigan, in handcuffs at 17.
Wow.
And then when I'm sat in the chair, I know people in the fucking waiting room. Oh, Fonso, and I've got a bit of a curly haired afro now, because they cut my hair off in Boston.
Oh yeah.
Miscarriage of justice. Totally different story. When I'm saying, oh, the people in the dentist, and I've got handcuffs, so I was proud, and I went straight through, sat in the chair, and then the specialist has come out. Yeah, he said, what they did was, Linda, this is no lie. I'm in a chair like this. The doctor has put his knee in my chest, and he had to clip the stitches with like a plier.
Yeah.
Snap them. And when he snapped the stitches from there to there, then he had to pull the wires out of my mouth.
Oh, wow.
When I went back there to just a couple of people in the thing said, fucking hell, Fonso, seems like you're being tortured. I was being tortured. But it doesn't matter. I had to go through that to be able to tell you what I did. Anyway, to cut a long story short, no disrespectful to the family of Kevin, years later, when taxing came out and a lot of people went downhill with different things in life, a very good friend of mine from Burnage, West is Witherton End, moved with his kids towards Wythenshawe, other side of Northend and Wythenshawe, and here a couple of days later, that three geezers have gone to tax this young kid with his kids in his house. He only sold draw. And when they're taxing him, the knife dropped, and the kid who they were taxing picked a knife up in self-defence, stabbed the person I'm talking about, and he left the house with his friends, so-called, in the car, and he said to them, I think I'm dying, take him to the hospital. They pulled up about 200 yards from the taxman's house. This is what I got told, and I do believe it's true. Pulled up about 20, 30 yards up the road, opened the door and went, see you later. And a neighbour heard his groans, phoned the ambulance, got him, went to the hospital, and unfortunately, he passed away.
This is Kevin Johnson.
Yes. Sad story. Very sad story, but that was part of me being 16, that happening to me, and then going to Borstal and having the stitches removed at my mouth, and that's when I became to have problems with my upper teeth. But that's just some of the roads we go down. Like I say, I've been violent, so I had to accept it. Now, Linda, you're saying about the Reno, so that was one of my horror stories from the Reno, because the Reno, for me, the Reno was my life. When someone said something in town the other night about making noise and all that, and I mentioned to them, I've done the interview, and then I said about the first. Me, Junior, Goff, Tony Burns and Dennis was the first kids to wear a tracksuit in the Reno. When we got there, like in Phil and like me and Tony Burns, because we used to wear karate kits or whatever, they'd say...
Did you used to wear karate kits in the Reno?
Yes. And karate boots and karate... Look, we'd be going to town, to Chinatown, to get the proper Chinese boots.
Yeah.
And we'd be going in our... So, but anyway, when some of the grafters was going abroad at really young ages, they were like professional thieves. So if it weren't just like Gary Essie, for instance, he was one of the first people I ever seen.
Gary Essie?
He was my cousin. He was one of the first people I ever seen with a bag like that, of diamonds.
Wow.
And a bag. Well,
didn't he pass away abroad as well?
Well, when we've done Envita now, for those of you that don't know, the Queen. Our Queen. Gary Essie passed away in Holland.
I thought so.
Like Stainsy. I got more to be friendly with Stainsy later on, near to the end of his life, through Bino. Bino and Stainsy were like that. I don't know fucking why, but people used to ask that, didn't know Stainsy in the Midland because he was so big and strapping and beautiful. Who's this fucking big lad? What's he want? He wants Bino, his pal. But it was great. So, tell me your question here.
Gary Essie died.
So Gary Essie moved to Holland, a lot of Manx, and when he was smoking, his lungs and his kidneys had crystallised with the rock, and he died. And when in hospital, when they said to him, "You're not going to last long," whatever, they asked him in the hospital, "What do you want?" "Just get me a teddy bear."
Oh.
I've got a tattoo on my back that says Teddy Bear. It's for Tony Byrne. Tony Byrne's nickname was Teddy Bear, and then Tony called his lad, our Anthony Sylvain's lad, Yogi Bear. So our Anthony grew up as his nickname. No one calls our Anthony hardly, it's all Yogi. So
Gary Essie had a bag of diamonds, that's where he was lost.
Terrible. So when we heard he's dying, or he's died in Holland, they wanted X amount of money to get his...
To bring him home.
So what we did, because we had the Midland at the time, we was doing Envita, we did a couple of gigs, and I made with Junior, Himmett, and a couple of others. The takings, we used to charge £1 on the dope at the Midland, but we were juggling a little bit of dope there, so it didn't matter. We was so we got his body home and we buried him with the money. But that was just one of the things. You see, when I formed Envita with the help of some of the kids I've already mentioned, but Himmett is my partner in Envita, there was two DJs, Andy and Dominic, Space Cake, and they had nickname Space Cake, and then come Darren Green and Stephen Tunipo, and then after them my nephew Bucky. So when I was in the Reno, Linda, and I've seen and experienced the Rastafarian community doing the blueses and the Rastafari movement, I knew that I needed some identity for myself, for a crew. I didn't realise what it would be. I knew I needed something I didn't realise. And then going in the Reno and seeing all this Larty and Cooley, and I've actually got a picture. Where's that? Did you see the picture of Cooley? Did I show you the picture of Cooley?
Not today. You didn't.
Oh, right.
Go on anyway.
Oh yes, so the mix. I'm trying to.
Oh, is that yeah?
So that's a picture of Cooley. Is that?
Oh,
Can you see that, Claire?
Yeah.
That's a picture of Cooley and me at our Lanza's house in Withington many years later.
Yeah.
So anyway, to try and describe to your viewers that I didn't say it last time. I don't know why. You have to excuse me because I fly all over the place. I used to go by the men's toilets. They had a speaker by the men's toilets. And if you went by this speaker, well, I used to go in front of this speaker.
We're in the Reno.
All night, sometimes.
We're in the Reno.
They had to drag me away from the speaker,
Okay.
yeah. But if you walk to the side of this speaker, you got it head on like that. But if you walk to the side of it, you stood there, there was a gap in it like that. And air had come out of it like a fan.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, because the way they cool the, I don't know. So I used to go and stand by this speaker. And that's why I've got like a permanent ring in my ears, the doctor said. And it's not a problem, I have to live with it. And from when I went to the Reno and started trying to describe the music to people, I call it soul and funk fused with rock.
Really?
Yeah, because it was upbeat house music. And some of the best upbeat house music, it was more than just soul. That's why house to Detroit and New Order and Barney and he was married to that. His ex had just died, the Canadian. Barney and anyway, New Order. Thank fuck for them because they went to Detroit and met the proper the Americans who was doing the house music at the time. So when they come home now and they thought they were introducing us to Detroit, we were already playing it. Viewers, when New Order came back from Detroit with the house scene, we were already playing that music in the Reno. It was already happening, but it didn't have a name of house.
No.
So we have to thank New Order and the boys for doing that, and Happy Mondays with Bez and Sean Ryder. So for me to try and describe our music in the Reno, I'd say it was soul funk fused with like rock. I don't mean rock and roll. I mean rock music of the rocky, not rock and roll.
Right, that's why I said really.
Yeah, not rock and roll as in the rock sense. I mean, there was more to this music as it was a very.
I know what you mean. I can never describe it. I can never understand why I liked it, and I can never describe it.
So I knew for me as a frontman, I didn't realise it that I was going to be a frontman because there were certain people in my side telling me about me. For instance, let me give you a few of these names. When I spoke before about the Rastafarian community, which was a part of, but not officially like a member, like Lanzo, there was when I couldn't remember the name when I was a kid, 12, 13, 11, when I met a kid at Junior's dad, my Uncle Fred's. He was called Archie. I was going to phone Junior, ask him what I remember because it's, you know, like Archie with the Archer. I have to remember certain things. And one of the original Rastas that got in my head as a little kid was Dungy. Dungy's got his own sound system, I can't remember it. Like Baron, Turbo, all their crew were baby Rastas. They weren't teenage-olds, they were like fucking babies, but they was, and the best thing about this is the Reno had Rastas coming to the Reno that were, I wouldn't say more into soul music in the Reno than them, but it was a beautiful balance because we had everybody in the Reno from all genres of Muslims, Sikhs, Rastas, and they say it's a religion, but it's not, it's a belief system. Buddhism and Rastafarianism, or Rastafari and Buddhism, it's not a religion as such. It's a belief. People turn it or think it is because it's a way of life.
Right.
So Archie and Dungy were up the like for instance, do you know a geezer called Gyro?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so his name is Tommy Campbell. I've had to write that on top of there because Tommy Campbell was one of the first dreads up with the Poyser twins.
Oh, yeah.
And Tomlin McKinley. Tommy's got a brother younger, he's my age, was in Boston. He came from Boston. He was one of the guys on the stage at the Russell that we was at. So then when you go to the HQ where we're going to have our party, which I'll say at the end of this, most of the HQ, like for instance, there was Kingsley, who was a mate of our Lanzers, Sass, Foxy, and Wondred. I think Wondred might have came from Birmingham or somewhere because he was only around for a while.
Why are you mentioning them?
Because there was a big part of the youth seeing the way they were for the community of Moss Side. They were the first up and coming Rastas. And they were like Lanzers age, and they all went in the Reno.
Right.
Western Alec, because the Western and the Alec. So, yeah, they've got to be mentioned simply because when you look at our upbringing, it was the fine balance between the soul, the Reno and the funk and the partying, and then the reggae, blues, shebeens, because the blues was that popular and everybody went to a blues. Like, I remember in one of your videos them saying that Persian and Cooley, there was a stage where the music was different before they went in. But when we went to the blues, they only played reggae.
Yeah, true enough.
They only played it. But as soon as the Reno started kicking off and everybody knew what they were playing in Reno with the soul and the funk and that music, the fucking bluesies soon got hold of it because they knew the people were going there to drink the drink, smoke the dope and spend money in the blues, you get me? So the bluesies then started becoming as house party, Reno, the blues became an extension of the Reno. Do you get me, Linda?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. They did become an extension.
They became an extension of the Reno because I only thought of it because I was young enough to be in the bluesies where they didn't play no soul or funk. Only the elders would be able to tell you that. And that's why I have to mention like the Poison Brothers and the Barrel Turbo and the sounds. And for instance, that's why I had to mention Kittermans in Oldham and banjos in Cheetham Hill because everybody went to all them. Every area went to all them because that's where we'd be. For instance, I was saying earlier on, so when Mulberry's, the owner was called Ricky and the head chef was Leroy. You know Leroy the chef, little Leroy from Moss Side? You must know Leroy the chef. You do, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't. So Ricky and Leroy run Mulberry's, really with the food, and Ricky was the manager. And then the doorman was Johnny Traynor. Johnny Traynor's a Moss Side guy, and he went up to Wythenshawe. And Johnny Traynor's crew. You had crews you had white geezers before the black geezers started going in. Apart from, like I said, Ozzy Sadie, that was officially doorman, and you knew them. White geezers who was attached rather, they might have had a black girlfriend or they grew up with half caste and whatever, so they knew everybody that was in place to make sure it was cool and went uncool.
Oh, okay.
And then they would then be coming down the Reno. For instance, Ricky at Mulberry's and Leroy, they were always in the Reno, but some of the people that came to Mulberry's from Winslow, Alderheads, like I said earlier on about all these industries of upper class money, and they were all into cocaine and partying. They were all in the Reno, and they'd only go with Pacific. My daughter tells me for saying Pacific when that's the ocean, not the word. Well, you know what I mean. They was always with Pacific people who were from the Reno, and they felt safe.
Yeah.
And they got introduced to a lot of people who was in different genres of industries.
But it sounds like the Reno was rammed now.
Well.
Didn't it?
Well.
Because when the
Reno was rammed.
It's rammed
all
now,
the time.
isn't it? Yeah.
Right, so I just want to make sure I mention that from the top. I can't believe, Melvin, I told me about the first time I met. Oh, you're right, I've got something to tell the viewers. I thought me, Willis and him was the first one at his age in the Reno at 12, 13. I'm wrong. I was in Willington Burnage the other day and I met a geezer in a cafe with my daughter And he wouldn't tell me his name, and I made him, my daughter say, ask him his name, Elena. Go on, Elena. And he said, right. It was Buddy. It was Phil's son, the boss of the Reno. His son was in a shop the other day. And I'll give his number to Linda, and hopefully he's going to do an interview. Anyway, when I started mentioning to Buddy and telling him about me, Willis and him being the first ones in the Reno at 12 or 13, he said, no, he wasn't. I said, well, why weren't we? He said, I was. I said, really? How old are you? He said, I was collecting glasses in the Reno at 11. I went, wow, you need to do an interview. Because he was there as a big man as well.
Yeah.
Because he was there, he must have been there early 20s or late 20s. Because what year did the Reno close down?
86, I think.
Wow, did it? People have asked me, said I don't know. I'm going to have to ask someone that knows.
Yeah.
So anyway.
80, yeah, which makes...
Buddy. So can you imagine? So now I will tell you that 16, when I went to Staffordshire to see Bob Marley at this place, it was where he sold cattle. It was a cattle place and he had thousands of people in it. So anyway, when we go in there, we're itching now. God knows. We're itching, me and Dennis Marr itching we know Bob Marley's at this place. So I said, Dennis, come on, let's go, we're going. So we meet these people in the Mini, and the Mini's got about 9 people in this Mini. And they pull up and they say, we can get you in. We say, we can't get in, we can't fit in. But it's miles away from where we're going to where we need to be. So we got in. And when we got in, I'm like crumped up my arm talking to the driver and Dennis over here. As I'm talking to the driver, his takers, and they're all stoned and they're all drinking alcohol. And then you can see more and more people now walking to this place where Bob Marley's going to come. We were 16. Dennis was 17, I was 16. All of a sudden, this driver's heading towards a truck. He's going to come on a head-on truck crash. I've grabbed the wheel, pulled it over, and he's gone, sorry. I said, it's all right. I said, just pull up here, mate. They just pull up here.
Why was he drunk?
Yeah, so he just pulled up and said to Dennis, come on, get out. And they're like, what are you doing? Sorry, mate, we can't stay in this car, mate. So we've got out, we've walked to this venue. As we walked to this venue, the queue was like half a mile long, and people were still heading there. Half a mile long the queue. We was there 5-6 hours before the gig. So as we've got there, I said, come on, Dennis, come with me. We've walked round the back of this building. And when we walk back down the back of this building, there's no one in the building. The first door that took him to the land is open to get in the building. And there's no one there, no punters, no people that work there, anything. So we've got in this building. And when we got in the building, it's like the longest, it's like 300 feet, 400, 500 feet to get to where the stage is. We're right at the back of the building. So as we got to the back of the building, and we've walked in, along one side of the building is ice cream carts on the wall. And it's a big fuck off place. So all of a sudden I said to Dennis, he's on the stage, Dennis. He said, how do you know? I said, because I know this song, I know he's rehearsing. He's doing a sound check. He said, don't be fucking daft, is it? It could be anybody. We couldn't see, but I could hear him. I could hear him and see him. So we're in the middle. I said, right, what we do then is we walk along these ice cream carts to the middle of the building, and then we come out in the middle, and then we'll be near the stage, and where you can see these people walking over there near the doors, we'll start mingling and then see what we can do. He said, all right. Walked out into the middle, and as we walked out in the middle, Bob's chingy, and I'm like, the stage was really high as your roof thing is here. So we're down here on the stage, and they've got cage things there. So we walk in, and we walk right up to the front of the stage, just me and Dennis, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and he's doing chingy, and next thing he stops playing, and his head's going closer, and I'm looking at Bob Marley, and he's looking at me.
Wow.
And he's kind of like, stop playing your guitar. And I'm saying to Dennis, look, Dennis, he's looking at me. Dennis has gone, but the only one's fucking in here, of course he's looking at you. I said, yeah, but Dennis, he stopped playing the guitar. He said, he's probably thinking that you look like him or something, this fucking little kid staring at me like that. So I said, shut up, Dennis, shut up. He looked at me, and then his boys are shouting him now. The band's saying something to him. He said something like, what? Yeah, 1 minute or something. So he's looking at me now, and I'm thinking, all of a sudden, I hear, Alfonso! And as this geezer said that, right over in the corner, and then I looked back at the pan, I thought, someone knows me here, Dennis. A big rasta, some guy shouting right in the corner, and a big rasta, 6 foot rasta, comes like a shadow. And he looks down and he goes, who are you? I said, my name's Buller. He said, where are you from? I said, Belize. He said, where are you from in England? I said, Manchester. He said, what are you doing here? How you get here? I said, we hitched it. He's gone, I've been friends with the man since I was a little kid. Been now seeing nobody look like the man as much as you. I said, in Manchester they call me Twin Marley. He said, that's true, you is Twin Marley. It's true. He was with his right hand man. So now I want to know who shouted me over in the corner. So I said, all right mate, nice one, thanks very much mate, cheers. But someone shouted me, I need to go over there. He said, go on then. One of Steel Pulse, who I said we'd met for years, as well Steel Pulse, UB40, loads of different bands, and also at the ranch, because it was the punk rock scene, and we were like punky wrecky party kids.
Yeah.
It's only fucking one of the band out of Steel Pulse who I've met a few times in Manchester, and he's called Alfonso. In Steel Pulse, there's a geezer called, we've got the same name.
Right.
So when you're introducing each other, there's kids, he's in the band, and all right, we're getting them dope. He said, Alfonso, I said, oh, yeah. He said, how did you get here? So we hit, and all right, you have a ticket? No. I haven't got it to this day. He give me, he said, I only have one, so you have to look after your pal. I said, all right, he give me BMW, it said, red, gold and green, and underneath it was Bob Marley, and there's the date and everything of the concert. I said, oh, wow. He said, you can meet Bob with, he said, you can meet Bob with this, you know. I said, can I? Oh my God. So I tried to set one for Dennis, couldn't, and Dennis said, every time you come out here, where this gate is, I'll meet you here. He said, go on, go meet you here though. So I went, right, so I've gone off, I've got a bag on me, and this is no lie. As the people start seeing me walking, I've got a brown bag on me, I've got a hat similar to what Bob Marley'd wear. I've got very little tuff on my chin, because I was only 16. I've got people in the audience, the people that work there, there's no audience, it's just people that work there, shouting, hey, Bob! I'm not Bob! I'm not kidding, I have to say to people, I'm not Bob. So I asked a couple of people now, where's Steel Pulse's dressing room? Down there. So I went up and seen some more of the lads. All right. I said, I'm going to see, can I meet Bob there? Go on, you got a backstage pass, no problem. So then I say, where's Bob's rooms? And it's over there. And where Bob's room was, there was 2 chairs outside Bob's room. So I'm going to sit on these chairs, and I'm seeing people walking out this room, and I'm not kidding, Linda, viewers, I must have been there 40 minutes trying to build up the courage to go in the room. Yeah. And I always knew that if I ever met Bob Marley, I would say to him, I want to run off with you, like you do with the circus. My kids say, run off with the circus. Yeah. I wanted to say to him, I want to run off with you and learn your teachings and be just like you. That's what I would convince myself I was going to say to him. Yeah. So, you know, like the American Werewolf in London, where they go in that bar and it goes quiet. This is no lie. After 40 minutes sat outside this change room of Bob Marley's, I sat on this seat, and this is really ironic when I tell you about these seats, just mind-blowing, pathetic on my behalf. 40 minutes, whatever it is, go in this room, walk in this room, every fucking person in the room started stopping. He was playing guitar, jamming with his mate, he started stopping. And when he looked to me, he smiled, and I thought, oh, there's my Bob, it's all right, he's giving me the green card. So as they all turned on and see me, and some people started scratching their head looking at me then, and this is the first time I got introduced to any kind of vegetarianism, because in the middle of this table was the most beautiful fruit and veggie stuff that you would ever see. Peanuts, fruit and veg, different brown breads, different this, different that. And he was jamming with a couple of people. And then someone said, come in. I stood near the door, stayed near the door. Bob smiled, and this, that, and the other. And a couple said, come in. And then the big Rasta was there. He said, come in, come and meet this one and meet that one. And then they're saying, why? And then everybody's like, now getting a bit surrounded now by people saying, why? What he blows and skirt, yeah. Watch him now. Watch Bob now. Watch Bob now. And saying, no, my name's Alfonso. And blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, I'm there saying, oh, a couple of people. So I go in a corner somewhere, and I just wanted to look at Bob Marley. I just wanted to see, because I was in the presence of the king. Next thing you know, he gets up, he walks out the room. I've only been in there 10, 15 minutes, so I fuck this. So I've walked out after him.
Have you?
I walked out after him, walked out the room, only meeting. Next thing you know, there's no lie, Linda. I'm in the room for 10, 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. I walked out this room. He's only sat on the fucking chair. I was there 45 minutes. He sat in his chair. And I looked at him. And I went, excuse me, Bob. Bob. Excuse me, Bob. Can I sit down there? Yeah, man, come sit down, you. My heart was going and everything else. I sat there, and I'm thinking, I'm sat next to me, Sat there for 10 minutes, not saying anything, just pure silence. He didn't even say anything to me. Just sat there, kept me looking at me, smiling. And I can't remember. I think he was skinning up or something. Yeah, because you know you might. I was in another whirlwind.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, a Chinese lady's approached. She said, "Hello, Robert." She said, "Hello, love." She's from Japan. She said, She said to him, "Can we have this meeting now, or would you like to do it later?" He said, "No, we can do it now. We can do it now." So I stood up straight away, like I do, because the way my mum teacher said, "Would you like me to leave? And would she like to sit on this chair?" And he looked at her, looked at me, and he's gone, smiled, and he's gone, "No, I would not like you to leave. I'd like you to stay and listen to the interview. You just stay around here, no problem." He said, "It's all right. Don't go anywhere." She had a fucking thing like this and a pen and pad. She had a camera around the neck, and there's one thing I never regret, and that people say you don't need it. I very easily could have said to her, "Excuse me, look, can you take a picture?"
Yeah.
She never. But
it's kind of cooler that you didn't, though.
What I must tell you now, which is pathetic and ridiculous, and I have to share this with people that know. So I sat with this interview with Bob Marley and listened to him. Then I went back in his room, and then fucking Dennis, my mate that couldn't get through the barrier. I met Bob Marley, then I went to the Steel Pulse. Thank you, Fonso. Oh, thank you so much. I met Bob Marley. No, it's just mind blowing. So now, an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, Steel Pulse are going on.
So did you sit through the interview? You've jumped.
Listen, yeah, sit through the interview. So I went to see Dennis, that was fine. So Steel Pulse are going on now, and I've seen him a few times. But because I could be with Bob Marley's entourage, I didn't even go and watch Steel Pulse. I feel a bit guilty about this to this day, because I could have went on stage with Steel Pulse, which would have been significant. I would like to say to the viewers, I went on stage with Steel Pulse and I didn't. I was that excited and I was that giddy as a kid. I stayed with Bob Marley in the room. And then when they were all leaving now, the guy, big Rasta, Bob Marley's right man, he said to me, "Are you coming?" I said, "What do you mean?" He went, "Are you coming on stage?" I went, "Can I?" He looked at me and went, "Yeah, kidding? You must be on stage."
Yeah.
But not just that, when they were all going on stage and people was asking for everybody's pass, I had mine on my sticker. They were like, I was one of them. It was really strange. And then there was one of them and they were all on this side of the stage. I looked over to the side of the stage, there was no one there. So I walked round the side, on the corner, and I stayed on this side of the stage on my own. And then from when he started his concert, and I had a couple of bottles of water on, there was no alcohol in his I'm dancing to all Bob Marley's songs. And at one stage I thought, I'm going to take me off now. I started dancing. And next thing you know, I'm looking at the crowd, at the front of the crowd. I'm not kidding. Most of the fronts of the crowd, the front row crew, were Mancunians. And I'll never forget Sean Ryder, because Sean Ryder started growing his locks not long after me, because most people did stuff round about the same time. But I was the first one in Manchester, mixed race, with dreadlocks. And Sean Morgan's in at front of the stage with a couple of kids from his crew, and a lot of other people potted through, and I can see them pointing, going, "Fonso Buller's on stage with me." So I'm waving at him like, I so sick shit that. Sick shit that. So yeah, so then when going backstage, concert, finishing, coming home, I was the talk of our town. It was fucking mind-blowing for years. Very ironic. So yeah, so some of them things that I forgot to mention last week. Do you remember me mentioning any of that last week?
No.
Right, brilliant. So I'm just going to have a recap now, because I know we can finish off. Are we nearly finished?
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, the ranch. Oh, my football team. Fuck me. When I was a kid.
Oh, you can't go beyond Bob Marley.
No, when I was a kid at football. When I was a kid, going down the Reno, I was going for professional football trials because I was good. And the kid that was playing football with, because his views out there, I think, no way. We played for a team called Charlton Olympic. Charlton Olympic, me and Nicky Reed run the midfield. Me and Nicky Reed was going for trials to different clubs. He went to Man City, he was a Man City player. He went from Man City to Blackburn, professional football. But before he went, me and him was running this team in the midfield. So he went better than me, and I went better than him. We were the same place. He went on to play professional football. When the old Bill got us in Moss Side, and beat us up and said we did this and said that, miscarriage of justice. Nick Reed went on to Pastor as brilliant, and I went to Borstal. Fucking hell. That's
Come on, let's wrap up then.
That's it now, I can. Because anything else, I will be doing a book, I will be doing the documentary, and I will be doing it at stages, because there's a lot of things that I need to do for my own self-being, and especially for my family, kids and grandkids.
Promote your thing.
Oh, right, okay. If anybody out there doesn't know anything about MVR, me and Himmat's crew, Himmat Singh, he is my guru, the percussionist, the yogi, the percussionist, the Sikh warrior, the guru of house and garage music, the performer. I am the MC. We will be doing a gig. Himmat won't be doing this gig because he's got family matters he's got to attend to first. When Himmat's ready, he'll be coming back to do MV gigs. But me and my brother Lanza are going to do a gig on the 18th of March at the HQ Manchester Rastafari Community, the HQ.
Is that on Claremont Road? On
Claremont Road.
What is the 18th of Saturday?
The 18th is a Saturday, and it is St. Patrick's Day. We're not just celebrating St. Patrick's Day, we're celebrating our mother's giving birthday of my brother, who will be 60 at the time. It's £10 on the door. There's not a guest list. And we want everybody's support. What I've said to a couple of people is we want to be introducing people that have walked past the HQ for years, don't know what the building is, and never been in the building. We want to introduce people to the building to show them that it's all about peace and love and unity. As above, are the Rastafarians say, Rastafari, souls below. So, 18th of March, it's classed as soul versus reggae. I will be having my own crew MBTA performing on the night. Will be Persian first, Ewan Clark, soul versus reggae, and then my crew later on at night are going to be taking over as in house and garage. My crew performing on the night is going to be Blacker Bullet, Craig West, Payne, Nicky Lockett, MC Tunes, DJ, Zachariah Soul, Roots and Culture. I don't think I've missed anybody out there because I said I didn't want Ewan, Soul, Persian, Zach, House. Yeah, that's it. Zach, Nicky and Blacker Bullet. So it's going to be a night of entertainment, and also if it's as good as we expected it's going to be, we'll be introducing people to the management of the HQ Rastafari. So if you want to have parties and food, because they have a restaurant in the back of there. Okay. So 18th of March, St. Pat's Day, if it's your journey now and you want to celebrate with us, if it's your birthday or anniversary or whatever it may be, please come and celebrate with us. Those that know us know we celebrate everything from the top to the inner. God bless, love and light, Rastafari. Thank you, Linda.
Oh, thank you, Fonso.